everybody, welcome back to Plugin Tut, your home for handcrafted WordPress plugin tutorials. And today we're taking a look at the new starter site brought to you by the folks over at the Blocksy theme. First, let's go ahead and activate the Blocksy theme. If you haven't seen the Blocksy theme before, it's a great multi-purpose theme with some very powerful features. And I've just activated the Blocksy theme. Now we're going to activate the Blocksy companion. Today's video is just going to be a complete walkthrough of looking at the theme and showing you some of the interesting points, right? So there's not a very high level of knowledge needed for this type of tutorial, and we are going to just take a look at some of the broad brushstrokes of the Blocksy theme. Sit back, enjoy the ride. So I've activated the Blocksy companion, which is obviously the companion plugin to Blocksy. If this is your first time seeing Blocksy, this is the plugin that helps power 98% of the features of the theme. You really can't go without it. And we're going to go to the starter site section, and you'll see the 4 different starter sites, of which I've covered before on the channel. So go ahead and check out those other videos. We're going to import the app theme or starter site. It's going to prompt you, do you want to install a child theme? Yes, absolutely we do. That's the best way to set up a customized site. And it's going to activate this Gutenberg block plugin, which I'm going to explore further into this video. It's called Getwid by MotoPress. I think I have that right, MotoPress. We'll take a look at that in a moment, and you're going to say yes to that as well. And then it's going to ask you, do you want all of the predefined options, widgets, and content? Yes, yes, and yes. And do we want a clean install? Yes. If you're, installing this on top of an existing demo site that maybe you're working on, a development site, certainly do a clean install. I'd imagine, though, if you're doing this on a live site, you want to uncheck that clean install because you don't want it to vaporize everything that you've done. It's installed. It's how easy it is. Let's go ahead and hit View Site. And like I mentioned, we're going to walk through some of the cool features of this theme, and it is a very, app-heavy theme. This is something that is a modern piece of software. If that's the type of project you're working on, the type of company that you're working on, it is definitely set up for that. It has those animated bars. I'll tell you, fellas, at the Creative Themes website, I think we're over these bars by now, but a lot of people might still be using them. I don't know. The pie charts, the bars, the percentages of capabilities, I think we're done with that, but it is still something that I guess many people use, and it has this nice pricing section, and of course a testimonial section, download our app now, and of course a nice modern footer. I always like the footers that the Blocksy team designs. So if you're building out an app site or a software site, or if you like the structure of these big open hero sections, well, the app theme might be for you. Let's go to the About section. I'm going to save the News section till the end. Here's these countdowns, award received, or count ups, award received, projects completed, happy clients. This is how they've designed their About section, which is kind of cool. Pay attention to this section right here. I love the animation of that timer, of that timed sort of timeline. It looks really cool. As you scroll, you can kind of see that animation. That's really cool, and I'm going to dive into that in a moment, because what I'm going to do is highlight some of the cool blocks that this plugin has. And remember, this plugin is independent of the Blocksy theme. And then our contact page, sort of just a basic. They didn't decide to integrate a form plugin for this particular starter site. Let's go over to the News section. This is the one I just sort of saved for last. It's almost the standard look and feel of the Blocksy News theme, save for this right-hand sidebar here, sort of extends the width of the monitor or screen real estate. And you can see that the transparent header goes away. I actually contacted them about 2 specific questions, them being the folks over at Creative Themes. And I asked them, number one, why did you use this independent Gutenberg Blocks plugin? And why did you not style a transparent header for the news section? Because it does feel, vastly different. When you change that header like that, and let's just swap back and forth so you can see when I go back to the home section, transparent header, my eyes are going to the left-hand side to navigate, and then I always have this Get the App icon. So you might use this as an e-commerce store, a membership site, a modern agency site, and that might be buy our products, get the app, book a call, download our software, and it's always there. And then when you go to the news section, which I would argue would be the look and feel of most traffic coming to a website, especially if you have a very popular blog. Most of your traffic is probably going to come through your blog. And that sort of call to action, that look and feel, well, it feels very distant from what the rest of the site looks like, but that's okay. So I asked them that, and they said that they just wanted to show the flexibility of the theme, of the design, and they wanted to let folks, know that you could play with the different look and feel of the header section. And then, of course, I asked them about the selection of the block plugin. And again, it was just very much spreading around the compatibilities of not just, different page builders, but Gutenberg specifically, and then supporting other block creators. I almost said manufacturers, other block creators to show the flexibility of Gutenberg. Let's go ahead and take a look at the home page, and we're going to edit that page. And let me just make sure I actually said MotoPress was correct, right? Let's go into the installed section, and we have our Blocksy companion, and we have Getwid, which is, yes, by MotoPress. Let's just take a look real quick at the website before I actually go into these blocks. Let's go plugins, Gutenberg WordPress plugins. It's a free plugin, Getwid WordPress Blocks. Getwid WordPress Blocks. It's a tough statement to say without conjuring up the old tongue tie. Getwid WordPress Blocks plugin gives you all you need to start building, and we're living in a world now where there are so many all-purpose, multi-purpose Gutenberg block plugins now. And, as I always say, the caveats are, which one do you want to be tied to? Are you going to be installing multiple plugins to get one block, but it comes with 98 others? It's a tough thing to justify, and I think what we're going to start to see is more consolidation of these plugins, just really picking sides, quote unquote, with themes that people really like. And, if you're a true Blocksy fan and you really like this app theme, well, maybe you're going to be tied to this MotoPress Getwid plugin, and then maybe on other projects you're flip-flopping and picking the plugins that you like. Let's go back to the homepage. So they're all getting very similar these days. It does feel pretty snappy. It feels pretty quick. This could be just I don't know, I forget the official word for when you you think that a medication's working and it's not. But it all feels pretty snappy, pretty fast. When I go to render, when I go into the editor, it doesn't feel like anything is being drawn on the screen or taking a lot of time. Everything renders fine in the editor section. But like I was saying, like many of these Gutenberg plugins, they're all giving us pretty much the same options. It's just, where do you want to, which one do you feel most comfortable using? And it's these little nuance sections of like the padding section, the margin, and how you navigate this. Each one has its own flavor of style and user interface. It's just whichever one you feel, really, it's really easy to use for you, or really enjoyable, or you have a particular workflow. But the major sections have these common option panels, and that's, it's the colors, it's the padding, it's the margin, it's setting background images, it's setting the gradients, which is part Gutenberg default and then part, this MotoPress plugins features. You can go in and set a slider in this section as well, and a video, a background video. So they have their own flavor for addressing some of the, customizations. Fold width, custom width, and then, of course, the advanced section if you want to do animation effects, the duration of that animation. It's literally what we're seeing, if you were customizing a section in, let's say, Elementor or any other leading page builder. Those options are now transposing into Gutenberg blocks, and we're just getting them here. But these are still early days, and with full site editing coming along, I'm sort of still reserved on my thoughts of like, this is the panel we'll be editing in. Maybe it stays. I did a video on full site editing, and we had our right side panel here, and the options were there. Maybe this is what WordPress is going to be giving us for the next couple years. Maybe it doesn't have this beautiful UI that we come to expect with other page builders, especially like a Breezy. But pretty nice nonetheless. This is the layout of that homepage. Let's go to all pages. We'll go to that contact page. Actually, no, let me go to this about page, because one of the things I really do like from this MotoPress block plugin is this timeline. Really nice. I mean, just something about it is, I just find it to be just really nice. I just like the way it works. This content timeline block is fairly unique. You can do some block animation there. I like how that, it doesn't always have to be a time, right? So it's not locking you into, just using dates. You could say onboarding phase, setup phase, go live phase, right? And you could be using this timeline for whatever type of content you want to display. So it's a nice touch, and that's just one of the things that I wanted to highlight, in this MotoPress block. This padding bottom, this is kind of unique. Like, you see this more typically in like a page building experience, but with this block plugin, you can get these highlights, and of course you can modify all of this stuff within its own section. One of the other unique things that I've noticed that this plugin also activates is this template library up top. Again, I know you all hate when I sort of get into these these monologues of WordPress versus user experience versus third-party developers, but we have this feature called the template library, which is almost like the patterns, the default patterns built in WordPress or coming to in Gutenberg. So if I go patterns, actually maybe it's disabled in this particular theme because it doesn't support it. But if I go to template library, this is something of what we can come to expect with WordPress Gutenberg patterns. It's nice. It's a nice template library. Again, very similar to what you're going to get out of a page builder, but it's coming into this Gutenberg block. Hey, it's great. I'm just curious of where that starts to collide with, I need to figure out where my Gutenberg patterns are. And then you say, well, Mrs. Customer, it's in your template library, and just use those instead. And there's this kind of confusion of core Gutenberg stuff versus third-party developer stuff, and we're mashing it all together. So I just always have to highlight those different types of things. Overall, this is a great looking software/app theme. If you wanted to make this a little bit more of a less like heavy and dark kind of look and feel, we can replace this image. Let's say pick something like this with this blue lake in the background, and then the style overlay. Let's bring this overlay down to like 45. Hit update, preview. And now it's not so heavy. Of course, we'd have to go through and change the color scheme for the rest of the site to sort of open this up. But that's Blocksy, a little bit of Blocksy, a little bit of this MotoPress Getwid plugin. What do you think? It's the new starter site by Blocksy. I continue to support these guys. I kind of do like the themes growing on me. As I mentioned before, it's very powerful. And I'm looking forward to see what they're going to launch in their pro theme. Let me know what you think in the comments below. It's plugintut.com, plugintut.com/subscribe to join that mailing list. If you like the video, thumbs up. Subscribe if you want more. We'll see you in the next video.